Welcome to The Color of Fragrance, and I am Vonnie EC, and today is an unfortunate video because usually I like to talk about things that I like. But I started this channel on the premise of being honest, talking to y'all the same way I would talk to somebody as if I met you in real life when we talking about what we don't like and what we like and all that type of stuff. So that's the premise that I'm setting with this channel. So with that, sometimes, unfortunately, you got to talk about things that you don't like. I mean, you don't have to do nothing. I don't have to do nothing, but when it comes to buying fragrances and being in this fragrance world, being on a fragrance journey, we definitely gonna come across stuff that we don't like. We probably gonna come across more stuff that we don't like than what we really do like in a lot of cases. So I got a fragrance today, man. I'm not gonna say this fragrance is trash, but it just don't gel with me. I've had this fragrance for a while and I've tried to allow it to grow on me. There are fragrances that I have that I did not like at first that I love, but it did not take me a long time for that transition to happen. With this one, I've been having this fragrance for a while now and it just still hasn't grown on me. I'm still confused about it. It just don't gel with me, but I respect the artistry and the perfumery of this fragrance. I respect this fragrance. I respect this house. I respect their presentation. But this particular fragrance, it just don't really do it for me. And that fragrance is Brivida della Caccia. Or Brivida della Caccia by Argos, if I'm saying that right. And like I say, man, the presentation is dope. I think they got, as far as the bottles, specifically, they got one of the best presentations in fragrance, period. I think, but this particular fragrance, it just don't really do it for me. It is a very artistic fragrance. Let me see. So let's look at the description of it. This fragrance, so before I even look at Fragrantica, my description, this fragrance has a very sharp green vibe to it. It's sort of like, it's something in here that smells citrusy, like light citrusy. And it's like something that's sourly animalic about it. To me, it's the animalic aspect of this that's really throwing me off. But if I can compare this, it don't smell like it, but if I can compare, like, as far as like the pronounced sharpness of the greenness in this, I would say something probably like Beach Hut Man by Amouage. They got a very sharp green note to it. This is similar. Like I say, this don't smell like Beach Hut Man, but as far as like the sharpness of the green, like some green fragrances, it's different levels of green. You got some fragrances that smell like fresh, clean, like fresh cut grass on a beautiful spring day. You know what I mean? But this don't smell like that. This smells like deep in the woods. I don't know, man. It just don't gel with me. So let's look at the notes real quick. So, top notes. Mate, which is, I think is a tea, some type of tea or herbal tea. Juniper, clary sage, pink pepper, middle notes, grass, orris root, tonka bean, base notes, birch, leather, amber. That is a hell of a combination of notes. And, I can definitely see the grass. The juniper, I think, is what gives this brightness. Because it is something about this fragrance that I like, but it's just overall, man, it's like, it's different components and it's just leaving me confused. And I've been confused for over 5 years with this fragrance. It ain't nothing more that I can do with it. You know, I remember when this fragrance first came out. When I first got on the Argos, it probably was like 2020. I think they first line of fragrances that they had released was 2 fragrances called Pour Homme and Pour Femme. And they second line of fragrances which this was included in, was this, Brevido della Caccia, Triumph of Bacchus, and Bacio Immortale. And I had all 3 at one point in time. I had Triumph of Bacchus and Bacio Immortale. I ended up getting rid of the Triumph of Bacchus, even though Triumph of Bacchus is it's a beautiful fragrance. Very good fragrance. But somehow, some way, after I had the Triumph of Bacchus, I ended up smelling Carlisle by Parfums de Marly. And to me, they share similar DNA. And I just liked the Carlisle better. I just thought Carlisle was darker, more mature, a little bit more masculine. It was just more sexier to me. To me, that's my personal opinion. To me, not saying it's better, but that's what I felt. And once I smelled Carlisle, I knew I had to have Carlisle, and I ended up trading Triumph of Bacchus for something else. And the Bacio Immortale, I ended up giving it to one of my homeboys. That's a good fragrance too. It got the raspberry and the leather combination, kind of like that Tuscan leather vibe. But the Bacio Immortale was a little bit more lighter, sweeter. I think it was more mass appealing. I think it was a little. It had a little bit of. Is the word sour? It was something a little sour about it to me. So anyway, I ended up giving it to one of my partners because I ended up getting this fragrance called Perfect Oud by Miss Sincere. And Perfect Oud shared a similar DNA with Bacio Immortale, Tuscan leather. Perfect Oud, to me, it got that berry or that raspberry leather note in it, but Perfect Oud is a much airier, fresher, lighter fragrance than Bacio Immortale. And I didn't need to have both, and I like Perfect Oud better, so I gave a Bacio Immortale away. But all these fragrances are great. I think they all crafted beautifully. Even this one, you know, this is art. You know, I feel like this is great perfumery, but I'm not gonna sit up here and keep lying to myself or trying to lie to myself. Like, it ain't no reason for me to have this, because I'm being honest with you. If I was going out on a quote unquote first date, I'm not wearing this. If I'm going out to some type of gathering where it's gonna be people, to where my presentation is gonna be the impression that counts, I'm not wearing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wearing this to try to impress nobody. Now, I've wore it through the years. Most of the time I wear it when I'm by myself, and it just never hooks me. It never hooks me. When I first smelled this, I smelled the samples. I had a sample of all the fragrances that I had from them. Triumph of Bacchus, Bacio Immortale, and this one. I smelled all the samples. And even at that time, 2020, I was still at the top of the rabbit hole somewhat, to where you can still look up and see some daylight. So I'm still excited. You know, I at that time, I still don't feel like I've smelled enough to come across and realize and see the redundancy in a lot of fragrances at that point. So I'm still excited, you know, and this definitely did smell different to me. You know, Triumph of Bacchus was fire. Bacio Immortale, all of them. You know, now I haven't smelled after those line of fragrances, the new stuff that they done came out with after those lines, after that line, you know, these three that came out together, anything after that I haven't smelled. And I really had to go back and go do my homework and go start checking out the latest stuff that they done put out. But when I smelled the sample of this, I liked it. Or at least I thought I did. And then I ended up getting the, like I said, I had all 3 bottles. I haven't been able to get rid of this one because there's nobody who I can really give this to. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't just, like, somebody, I just haven't came across nobody who I can give this to. Just a few people who I done gave fragrances to. Like, I don't want to dump this off on them because I kind of see what people like. And this is way different. This is way out there. You know, artistically, I respect this fragrance, but is this something that I'm reaching for? When it's time to show up and show out, I'm not reaching for this. So I just don't really see the point of even having it, to be honest with you. So with that said, I definitely let this fragrance go. Yep, I definitely let it go. Give me $60. Yeah, I know. I think I paid over $200 for this fragrance when I first got it. But to me, I'm not even tripping on trying to get my money back. Because for one thing, I don't have a box. Of course, you can see, you know, I don't even, is that a dent? Would you consider that a dent? So I ain't really wore this that much. I mean, I've wore it through the years, but you know what I'm saying? I haven't really wore it like that, but I'm being honest with myself. I don't need this, you know, and I'm at a point in my fragrance journey to where I'm about to start downsizing. And I'm gonna be doing reviews on a lot more fragrances that I'm willing to get rid of. Now, this is just one of the least light fragrances that I have. I'm confused by it. I can't put it together. It just don't gel for me. I can't do it. I can't do it. There's no, somebody else might enjoy this, you know. And for $60 for this, you're not going to, if you looking for this fragrance, you're not going to find this. This is 100 mils, $60. I'm not tripping on trying to get my money back because I value the space I'm gonna have once I get rid of this. I got a goal. I got a slight goal. I think I want to try to get myself down. I want to get myself down to 50 fragrances. That's the first goal. I want to get down to 50. And then once I get to 50, then start chiseling it down even more. You know, not saying that I would never buy fragrances again, but now on my journey, I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I have enough assuredness to where I'm not gonna get excited and just go buy something just because I smelled it and it smelled good. You know, a lot of these fragrances that I bought, it just came from being excited, being in the fragrance hobby. But it's like now I know what I want. I know what I like. I'm disciplined. I've grown to have discipline. And moving forward, you know, I got a certain protocol that I'm following. And I'm not out here really just trying to buy bottles and just continue buying bottles, you know. That's just me. That's where I'm at. But this one, like I said, I let it go. $60. You're not gonna find a better deal than that. And, you know, I put my Instagram and my email in the comment section. I put my email in my bio as well. And if you want to get in contact me, if you want it, I'll let it go. First come, first serve. Like I say, I don't have no boxes. I'll wrap it up in bubble wrap for you and send it to you. But don't try to lowball, because I ain't going below 60. Somebody come with something below that, whatever price that I set, because all my prices is going to be love prices. I'm taking a loss on whatever fragrance that I'm selling because I'm not tripping on the money. I'm not really tripping on it. I just want to try to get rid of as much as I can. So, and we starting with this one. We gonna start with this one. Burrito della Cacha. Hey man, you might like this. You might like this if you're familiar with it. If you want to get a sample from somewhere and see what it do. But like I say, it's gonna be first come, first serve. So ain't nothing I can really do with it, man. It's not doing nobody no good just sitting on the shelf. Somebody might actually enjoy this. If I knew somebody that was around me that enjoyed this, I would have gave it to them. You know, one of my partners that's really into fragrances like me, he wasn't too thrilled about this because I would have gave it to him. So, you know, I'd rather sell it. I'd rather somebody that want this take it off my hands, instead of me just dumping this on somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it going to waste. But like I say, man, it's not trash. I don't think it's trash. it's just not for me. And I have to be honest with myself. If I'm going to go see a chick, I'm going to go kick it with a woman for the first time, I'm not wearing this. You know, I'm going out doing some city slicking. I'm getting fresh, going out, stepping out. I'm not wearing this. I'm not wearing this nowhere but by myself. And that's just the honest to God truth. So, yeah, unfortunately, you know, I had to do a video on a fragrance that is the least pleasing to me, but it is what it is. So that's all it is. That's all I got. Color of Fragrance, Vonnie EC. Till the next time. Gone.